I only have so much patience. So when I engage in a conversation, and if it ain't talking about paper, then it ain't talking about nothing. Keep moving.
If you ain't talking about bread flow, keep moving.
Yo, what up, people? It's your boy ThaLiveKing coming at you with another video. Actually, I got another podcast for you guys. I don't even know what I want to talk about in this podcast, but I want to talk about some NBA stuff, some NBA Live stuff, just to keep it, to the core of my channel. But first off, I want to talk about is NBA Live dead? Now, over the last couple of days, I haven't really been posting a lot of NBA Live stuff. I did stream it maybe 4 days ago. I was doing some live run stuff. I was doing some 3-on-3. And I just feel like, this, from what the game was at launch to what it is now, it felt like there was a big drop off. And some of you guys know that, like, when I was streaming the game for launch, I was interacting with a lot of people. I actually streamed for 5 hours, and that's pretty much the longest stream that I've ever done, and I had fun. Like, there was really no issues. The only really issue I had with the game was the contested shots, but there's some stuff that they could have fixed here and there, but the overall enjoyment of the game, like, to me, I thought it was solid, right? So a couple patches later, a lot of complaining later, we're now here, and I think they did too much tweaking with the game. I think they should have just kept their vision on what they felt like was a good product. Even though there was a lot of issues with the game, because if you play any game, there's always going to be issues with it, right? But I think in terms of player movement, they were ahead of 2K, because I played 2K, and while 2K has a lot of good animations, they just lack like great overall movement, because you can't get to the spots that you want in 2K the same way you could have got on NBA Live. And I thought that was an advantage that they actually had over 2K, along with the fact that you can turn off the auto motion, the player motion offense, and you can pretty much dictate the offense the way you want, right? That's something you can't do in 2K, because in 2K everything is pretty much automated. So their offensive and defensive system is pure auto motion, right? So, like, the only way you can still mess with the settings, and you can get players to stick to their man and stuff like that, but in terms of defensive schemes and all that stuff, like, everything is tied together, right? And I think most basketball games Live in 2K basically, that's something that they should try to move away from, right? Like, I was playing FIFA yesterday, and they introduced a new way of new way of, like, taking control of your team. And they have pretty much, like, you can change your formations, you can you can dictate how you want your team to play. Like, you can tell them if you want to play a wide game or you want to play a more compact game, you can do that. But the one thing that you can do is define a player's role within the game. So, like, if you wanted a player to just roam on offense, if you don't want him to come all the way back on defense, you can give him instructions to do stuff like that. And that's something that, like, both of these basketball games, they lack. Like, NBA Live has a lot of good stuff in terms of, like, on the fly adjustments and stuff like that. But when you compare it to 2K, like 2K, you have to go in the menu, you have to go through a whole bunch of sub menus just to do some minor changes, and that's why I feel NBA Live has the advantage over 2K. Also, NBA Live had the advantage to me in gameplay, an overall floor game than 2K also. But now, since NBA Live done all these changes to their game, I feel that they've taken a step back in terms of player movement, in terms of AI, because it doesn't feel like the same game. Like, the game feels more like NBA Live 18, right? Because like at launch, the player movement, everything, it felt like a whole new game. And now I felt like the game just plays like NBA Live 18. And that's why I feel like people are stopped playing the game. Like, you still have people that are streaming the game and stuff like that, but like, I'm going back and looking at my streams and I'm just like, man, this is definitely not the same game. There's supposed to be a gameplay update coming sometime this week. I was actually hoping it would drop yesterday, but you know, they're probably still working, or they could be still working on it. I have no idea. So for me, it's all speculation at this point. They're probably gonna put in the new jerseys, because usually when they have a major update, they would actually include the new jerseys and stuff like that. 2K already has the city jerseys in the game. NBA Live, I'm pretty sure it's coming in with the next update. But man, like, the way the gameplay plays now, to me, it's just frustrating, man. Like, because before, even though the gameplay wasn't perfect, you could still, like, any gamer that plays video games and they like a game, they would ignore certain flaws and they would still enjoy the game. But with NBA Live 19, it's kind of hard right now, because there's just so many. It's like they had issues and now there's a lot more issues, and I don't know if they can recover from it. They're still working hard on the game, they're still putting out stuff, and it's just, you know, a lot of the updates are just closing the store. But hopefully this gameplay patch does something, because I feel like player movement took a hit ever since launch, and they got to figure out how to get the gameplay back to where it's free, like where you feel free. And what I mean by free is, like, I play a lot of NHL and FIFA, and to me, I just feel like the player movement is a lot more freer this year, especially for NHL, because, you know, they overhauled the footwork in the game, and it makes a huge difference. I still feel that they can do a lot more with the footwork in NHL and with the skating and stuff like that, but if you compare this game to last year's game, it's kind of the same way I felt about NBA Live 19 versus 18 at launch. Because I felt like when I picked up the sticks and I wanted to play, it just felt that it felt like two different games. And like I said before, NBA Live 19 doesn't feel like a new game anymore. It just feels a lot of the same. I was trying to get into court battles, but court battles is just it's just a cheese fest. Like, it requires no strategy. You just have to have, you know, a certain type of players, and, you know, if you can match up with the team that you're trying to take to court, you can easily win the game. But if you're going to lose those games, the CPU results into a lot of cheesing, and a lot of missed layups and a lot of missed jump shots and everything. So to me, like, that restricts a lot of the fun in that mode. I know a lot of people grinded it out, but man, like, I was trying to do it, but I just can't. Like, it doesn't require any strategy. And the thing about NBA Live is that there's so much limitations in the game now that I feel that next year what they have to do is, because since they took a step back with the gameplay this year, is that they're going to have to improve the gameplay a lot more for next year, and the game has to be a lot smarter, right? Because right now it's like I don't know what's going on with the game because I'm trying to mess with a lot of the sliders and stuff like that, but it's not the sliders. Like a lot of the stuff that's in the game is probably a lot of errors in the AI probably has to do with synergy, man, because there's so much conflict within the game with certain elements in the game. Like for instance, like I did the experiment on, you know, turning down the turning down the draw shooting fouls for every single player that I was playing with and with the CPU, and you pretty much can get consistent calls that way. So it's like you don't need that in the game. So they got to find a way on how to create more limitations in the game rather than having stuff that contradicts each other in the game, and just figure it out. Because I feel player agility is another thing that they got to work with. Player agility, it's just like when you play FIFA and NHL, the players just feel more loose. It just feels more loose, and I just don't get that same feeling with NBA Live. So they can definitely get it to that level, because especially with NHL, because it's all under the same engine. So I don't see why they can't get it that way. But it all starts with the passing, it all starts with the dribbles, and it all starts by making the ball its own thing. Because once that ball becomes a live ball, like a lot of that warping shouldn't even happen, and a lot of the collisions should be a lot better, and a lot of the spacing should be a lot better, and the player should be a lot smarter in using the space. So I don't know what else to say, man, because I'm just waiting for this gameplay. I'm probably gonna stream it just to see how certain things are, but they really gotta do something with the game, man. They can't, like, the way they did live events and stuff last year was a lot better, so it kept people on the game. But now it just feels like you gotta work so hard just to get, you know, some of the stuff that's in the game, and at the same time it's not really worth it. So like if you want to play the game for a couple hours a day, you know, that's fine, but you know, a lot of the stuff that's in the stores, you can't, like, some of the stuff is in there for a week and you don't even have enough RP to even buy some of that stuff, or you don't have enough hype in certain modes to do that. And the reason why a lot of people don't want to play court battles because of the cheese fest that they have to go against. And if you're a basketball guy like me, like, you want to have a strategy based gameplay for stuff like that. It's not just dribble up the court and, you know, we're just gonna run. You can't even run plays. So like they gotta do something about that, because it's I don't know. I don't want to end up just bitching about the game, because a lot of people are doing that. But at the same time, like, you know, this is the first time in a long time where I've stopped playing NBA Live. I haven't really stopped playing it. Like, I still play it. I'm actually working on a video also, but I just feel like I have to put out NBA Live videos because of my channel. And, you know, I was big on hyping up the game, and I was big on, you know, telling people that, you know, it's a very good experience, and, you know, you can have fun with the game. But I can't do that now. Like, the gameplay just took a major hit, and even with the flaws, the game was fine. So these guys are gonna have to figure it out. What do you guys think about the game? Have you guys stopped playing it? Have you guys how do you feel about the current state of NBA Live? Leave a comment down below, and, you know, I'm gonna be down there commenting with you guys, just interacting with you guys and stuff like that too. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. More content is definitely on the way, and I'm out. Peace.
That's for sure, but a trophy is a trophy, and if you're in it, you might as well win it, and these players will enjoy this moment, picking up that trophy, and hopefully there's bigger things to come in the future.
It used to be contested over 2 legs until 1998. Since then, a one-off occasion. And here we are. A big celebration. The Super Cup is lifted.
All that pre-season work out the way. They'll enjoy these moments, and then it's back to work as soon as the proper stuff starts.
Really is the ideal way to get into gear for the season ahead. Giving it another hoist, and rightly so. Great names on that trophy.
Well, yeah, my mum always said get in front of the photos. And there he is.
Your mum educated you very well, Lee. So, the Super Cup victors.
Got a confession. I possess the God particle, lock me up for possession. The relationship with God should be great for proper protection. If I am to show and prove, ain't no need to ask me no question. The segregation real, you should probably stay in your section.